This is the Entel DX400 series. This particular model is a DX485. It's ultra compact, lightweight and dual mode. It's analog and digital. And the rugged and fully submersible DX400 series. All these radios deploy the latest DMR digital technology combined with Entel audio tailoring technology to ensure the best possible range and clarity. Well, let's open this box and show you what you get. Well, inside the box we get the quick start user guide, we get the radio itself, and this is the DX485, which has a display. Oh, very nice. You get a charger, we get an antenna, a high powered battery, and the mains charger. Now, just before I proceed further, this is a DX482, which is exactly the same as the 485 radio, except that there's no display. So everything that I say about the 485 applies to this, obviously, except for the display. Well, right in the box, as I said, you get this instruction quick start guide, and it shows you everything that you really need to know if you're not familiar with radios. Obviously, if you are familiar with radios, then you probably won't even bother with this. It's that simple to do. So I'm going to assemble this now and turn it into a radio. Let's fit the antenna. It simply screws on. And the radio battery clips in at the bottom and just falls into place really easily. And that was it. So let's take a quick look around the radio and have a look at how robust it is and things like that, and then we can talk a little bit more about digital and analog and the rest of it. As you see, it's a very compact radio, nice and easy to handle. It's got a really strong clip there that'll keep this thing in place wherever you decide to put it. These things at the side are for removing the battery if you want to do that. We've got a few controls on the top. We've got the on and off and channel, and we've got a red emergency button, as you can see there. This has to be set up, so I won't be demonstrating that right now, but I want to just show you the basis of it. So if we turn it on, you might get a bit of flickering on the screen as this loads up with this type of screen on the technology we're using to record. But don't worry about that. In real life, the display is absolutely perfect. Here we are on channel 1. This is in analog mode, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And it's only set up currently for a couple of channels, but if I turn it to channel 2, you can see it's now in digital mode. You know, this is a great radio. Whether you need a basic entry-level radio, advanced digital features, or something in between, the 3 DX400 series models deliver really smart solutions. It helps you to increase productivity and to keep your business connected. The digital radios from Entel are available in licensed and license-free variants as well, so if you don't need to have a licensed radio, and ask our specialists about that, then the unlicensed version will be fine. Okay, well, when Entel made this, they combined innovative technology really unique to Entel and patented with globally accepted DMR standards and a robust IP68 submersible enclosure. Yes, that's right. This unit can stand 2 meters depth in a liquid, well, really in water, for up to 4 hours and be perfectly safe. It's a real great feature of all Entel radios. Entel has produced the most exciting range of digital radios on the market. There's no question about that. The DX400 series radios deliver a best-in-class performance, range, and the clarity on these things is pretty awesome. Now, there are 3 models in this range. There's the entry model, which is really best for simple push-to-talk communications within small groups, such as calling a handful of other people or initiating emergency calls, things like that. Tier 1, 2 and 3. And then you've got the mid-tier model, which is this one. And that's as per the entry model, plus this high contrast screen which I mentioned before. It's a white on black OLED display. It's got a navigation button, it's got menus and an extensive contact list, so you can pre-code the contacts in there. This allows a larger number of individual radio users and groups to be called, and even multiple groups at once. The mid-tier model is also capable of displaying emergency caller ID and free format text messages, as well as sending pre-formatted text messages to other users, which is a great feature, by the way. And lastly, although not shown here, there's the high-tier model, and that has all the features of the mid-tier model, this one, plus the benefits of a full keypad. So rather than this type of solution, you've got the real keypad. It makes a lot of difference to some people. It's ideal for sending free format text messages, for example, a bit like a cell phone, for the ease of navigating channels and making contact lists and menus and more. So that's tier 2 and tier 3, that's what Entel call it. Now there is quite a strong move towards digital technology, and that can be very confusing to some people that have never experienced digital radio, as opposed to the analog stuff, the older stuff. Well, why digital? That's a great question, really. Well, the reasons are very simple. First of all, you get better coverage, you get significantly louder and clearer audio. It's crystal clear, and that's a very important aspect to a lot of people. You get longer battery life and longer duty cycles, so you don't have to worry about batteries. That's the simple answer for that. And there's far superior privacy on digital radio rather than analog. We've all been involved with analog radios where you've got 10 people on your one channel. Well, that can be a thing of the past when you start coming down to this digital stuff. Well, digital is actually split into 3 types of service for these types of radio. Well, for all types of radios. We've got short range, license free, to national or international connected networks, which, that's a bit of a change. Tier 1 that we mentioned earlier for the different grades, the entry level and the mid-tier and the high tier. Tier 1 is for commercial and leisure use with direct mode operation. No repeaters allowed in that mode. It's fully approved for use within Europe and the UK, and no license is required, which is pretty cool. Tier 2 is for small to medium-sized licensed systems. Radios can be used in direct mode or with a repeater if you want significantly extended range. Tier 2 repeaters can be networked to increase the coverage area even further, so you can cover massive range with these things, with repeaters, and that's an important aspect. And Tier 3, that's for medium to large size licensed systems. Trunked repeaters, as they are called, are used giving automatic access to multiple channels, which may be extended and networked to support very large numbers of radios over large areas. Very important. Now Entel have come up with this very clever thing about channels on these radios. Using 2-slot simplex, the thing they call simplex. Entel, the DX400 series, they split each channel into 2, delivering double the number of digital channels at no extra cost. You get a lot of radios these days where manufacturers are charging more for that sort of thing. For example, if you're using a single analog channel, the same channel in digital mode will yield 2 channels. Entel's Tier 1, the license-free DMR 446 as it's also often called, those digital radios provide 16 digital and 8 analog channels, which is pretty awesome. And if you come up to the higher levels of these, mid-tier and high-tier, you get far substantially more. Okay, so the DX400 series is future-proofed with new features supplied. You get free software upgrades, a bit like most things today, whether it be an Apple phone or even your computer. Everything's getting updated, and it all gets updated generally for free, which is a very important thing. But I'm going to just mention a few of the key features of this radio and how they're useful for you. Well, first of all, it's compact and it's very rugged. I mean, you could literally throw this thing around. And remember, you can buy lots of accessories that can protect the radio. It's IP68 submersible, which means 2 meters for up to 4 hours, 2 meters deep in water, which is excellent really. It's digital and analog modes, so it's 2 types of radio both in one, which is again another great feature. It's got really superior battery life and things like that, and that's one of the things, one of the reasons that we like these here at LRS. It's got 2 watts of audio. It's the loudest in its class, and you can believe me, I can't easily demonstrate this in a video, but it is very loud, and it's incredibly clear. It takes me to a thing that Entel developed called intelligent audio technology, and that looks after background noise and makes the the audio absolutely crystal clear. It's audio accessory optimization, so if you're using earphones or things like that, it's designed to work really well with them. It's got, as I said earlier, an extensive contact list. That saves huge amounts of time, so you can just whip through this, choose who you want or which group you want or whatever you want to do with it, and off it goes. Click, and you're talking to them. Now this unit's got Bluetooth version 4 class 2, and that's an optional feature, but it has got it. You can buy it, you can add it, and it's not really expensive, so if you need Bluetooth, it can be great. You could use that for a lot of things, including Bluetooth type earpieces and things like that, and microphones and so on and so forth. There is a simple end user or customer programmer app you can use for this, so easy to program. The actual power output on this is it's usually 1 watt or 5 watts or 4 watt for VHF. So UHF would be 1 watt or 5 watt, and VHF's 1 watt or 4 watt. It's always great to speak with our LRS Entel experts, and they can guide you to what you really need, as opposed to what you think you need, because sometimes you can get away with a different radio, a different model, and it could even be cheaper. We don't mind selling you the cheaper one if that's what you need. And that really sums up the majority of the features, the everyday features for this radio. It's a really wonderful piece of gear, actually. Okay, well, as far as warranties are concerned, the DX400 series, in fact, every Entel radio comes with a 2-year warranty, and it's something we like. Now, you don't get many failures on Entel radios. They are extremely reliable and extremely robust, and that's a great thing, because we don't like to see customers having to pay for things that might run out of warranty at 12 months on some radios, and you'd end up with a bill. But with these you get the full 2 years, and Entel are very helpful in that. That's one thing we like to see. It's one reason also why we sell Entel radios. They're a great choice for most customers. And don't forget that Entel make POC radio, ATEX radios, they make these type of radios. They're all submersible, and they do so many things. So what you might want to do is to call 01782 53 7000, ask for the radio team for Entel, and they can take you through every requirement. They can match every need, let's put it that way, for exactly what you're looking for. And a lot of companies will just let you go and buy on the internet, and that's the end of the story. Well, we don't do that. We've got real people who are interested in helping you even when you're not buying. So if you've got some query or something, give us a call. I'm sure that my guys will be able to help. And don't forget, you can go to entelradios.co.uk, which is down in the text, by the way, if you can get to the text from here, but it'll either be in the text or on the page you're looking at this video from. It's been great showing you this radio. I just wanted to run through those features and benefits, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for visiting.